Imagine this. You're in a relationship, romantic, familial, or even professional. And every time you try to address an issue or express your feelings, the other person shuts down, deflects, or gives you the silent treatment. You're left feeling confused, frustrated, and questioning your own reality. What you might be dealing with is a covert narcissist, a master of indirect communication and emotional manipulation. Covert narcissists are experts at avoiding direct communication, and their refusal to engage openly can leave you feeling powerless and emotionally drained. But why do they do this? Why do they refuse to communicate directly, even when it seems like the simplest solution? The answers might shock you. This topic is crucial because understanding the motives behind a covert narcissist's behavior can help you protect your emotional well-being, set healthier boundaries, and navigate relationships with greater clarity. In this article, we'll dive into the 5 shocking reasons covert narcissists refuse to communicate directly, uncovering the psychological tactics they use and how you can respond effectively. Let's begin this journey into the hidden world of covert narcissism, where silence speaks louder than words and indirectness is a weapon. Fear of exposure. One of the most shocking reasons covert narcissists refuse to communicate directly is their deep-seated fear of exposure. Unlike their overt counterparts who thrive on attention and admiration, covert narcissists are masters of disguise. They hide behind a facade of humility, sensitivity, or even victimhood to mask their true intentions and fragile egos. Direct communication requires honesty, vulnerability, and accountability, qualities that threaten to unravel the carefully constructed image they've built. If they were to communicate openly, they risk revealing their manipulative tendencies, selfish motives, or lack of empathy. For a covert narcissist, this is a nightmare scenario. For example, imagine confronting a covert narcissist about their passive-aggressive behavior. Instead of addressing the issue head-on, they might deflect by saying, "I don't know what you're talking about. You're just too sensitive." This indirect response allows them to avoid taking responsibility while subtly shifting the blame onto you. Psychologically, this behavior stems from their fragile self-esteem. Covert narcissists rely on external validation to maintain their sense of self-worth, but they're terrified of being found out as flawed or inadequate. By refusing to communicate directly, they maintain control over the narrative and protect their fragile ego from scrutiny. This fear of exposure isn't just about avoiding accountability. It's about preserving their carefully curated identity. For them, indirect communication is a shield, a way to keep their true selves hidden while manipulating others to meet their needs. Understanding this reason is the first step in recognizing the patterns of a covert narcissist. It's not about you. It's about their inability to face the truth about themselves. In the next chapter, we'll explore how their need for control plays into their refusal to communicate directly. 2. The need for control. Another shocking reason covert narcissists refuse to communicate directly is their insatiable need for control. Covert narcissists thrive on maintaining power dynamics in relationships, and direct communication often levels the playing field. By avoiding straightforward conversations, they keep the upper hand, leaving you guessing and second-guessing their intentions. Direct communication requires mutual respect and equality, 2 things a covert narcissist cannot tolerate. If they were to engage openly, they would have to acknowledge a perspective, which threatens their sense of superiority. Instead, they use indirect tactics like gaslighting, silent treatment, or vague responses to keep you off balance. For instance, if you ask a covert narcissist why they canceled plans at the last minute, they might respond with, "I thought you'd understand. You know how busy I am?" This non-answer not only avoids accountability, but also makes you feel guilty for questioning them. Over time, this pattern erodes your confidence and reinforces their control over the relationship. Psychologically, this need for control is rooted in their deep-seated insecurity. Covert narcissists often feel powerless or insignificant beneath their carefully constructed facade. By manipulating communication, they create a false sense of dominance, compensating for their inner void. This behavior is particularly damaging because it leaves you feeling unheard and invalidated. You may find yourself constantly trying to decode their words or actions, which only strengthens their grip on the relationship. Recognizing this tactic is crucial for breaking free from their control. In the next chapter, we'll explore how covert narcissists use emotional manipulation to avoid direct communication and keep you emotionally invested in their games. 3. Emotional manipulation as a tool. Covert narcissists are experts at using emotional manipulation to avoid direct communication. Unlike overt narcissists who may use aggression or dominance, covert narcissists rely on subtle, underhanded tactics to keep you emotionally entangled. Their refusal to communicate directly is often a calculated move to manipulate your emotions and maintain their influence over you. One common tactic is gaslighting, where they twist reality to make you doubt your own perceptions. For example, if you express hurt over something they said, they might respond with, "You're overreacting." "I never said that." This indirect response not only avoids addressing the issue, but also makes you question your memory and sanity. Another tactic is playing the victim. Covert narcissists often portray themselves as misunderstood or mistreated to elicit sympathy and deflect blame. If you try to confront them about their behavior, they might say, "I can't believe you're attacking me after everything I've been through." This shifts the focus away from their actions and onto your supposed cruelty, leaving you feeling guilty and hesitant to bring up the issue again. These manipulative strategies serve a dual purpose. They allow the covert narcissist to avoid accountability while keeping you emotionally invested in their narrative. By refusing to communicate directly, they create a dynamic where you're constantly trying to fix things or prove your loyalty, even when the problem lies with them. Psychologically, this behavior stems from their need to maintain control and avoid vulnerability. Covert narcissists are deeply insecure, and emotional manipulation allows them to protect their fragile ego while keeping you under their thumb. Understanding this tactic is crucial for breaking free from their emotional grip. In the next chapter, we'll delve into how covert narcissists use passive aggressiveness as a shield to avoid direct communication. 4. The shield of passive aggressiveness. Passive aggressiveness is a hallmark trait of covert narcissists, and one of the primary reasons they refuse to communicate directly. Instead of expressing their thoughts or feelings openly, they resort to subtle indirect behaviors that convey their displeasure or manipulate situations to their advantage. This allows them to avoid confrontation while still asserting their influence. For example, if a covert narcissist is upset with you, they might give you the silent treatment instead of explaining why they're hurt. This leaves you guessing and often desperate to resolve the tension, which gives them the upper hand. Alternatively, they might make backhanded compliments like, "You're so lucky you don't care what people think," which subtly undermines your confidence while maintaining a veneer of politeness. Passive aggressiveness serves as a shield for covert narcissists because it allows them to express hostility or dissatisfaction without taking responsibility for their emotions. They can deny any wrongdoing by claiming, "I was just joking," or "You're reading too much into it," further gaslighting you into doubting your perceptions. Psychologically, this behavior is rooted in their fear of vulnerability and rejection. Covert narcissists are deeply insecure, and direct communication requires a level of emotional honesty they're unwilling to risk. By being passive-aggressive, they can protect their fragile ego while still exerting control over the relationship. The impact of this behavior on you, however, can be devastating. It creates an environment of uncertainty and emotional instability where you're constantly walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their indirect hostility. Recognizing this pattern is key to disengaging from their manipulative tactics. In the next chapter, we'll explore how covert narcissists use avoidance as a strategy to dodge direct communication and maintain their emotional distance. 5. Avoidance as a strategy. Avoidance is a core strategy covert narcissists use to refuse direct communication. Whether it's avoiding difficult conversations, sidestepping accountability, or simply disappearing when confronted, this behavior allows them to maintain their emotional distance and control over the relationship. For instance, if you try to address a recurring issue in the relationship, a covert narcissist might suddenly become too busy to talk or claim they don't want to argue. They might also physically leave the room or stop responding to your messages altogether. This avoidance tactic leaves you feeling frustrated and unheard while they remain untouched by the conflict. Avoidance serves several purposes for covert narcissists. Serving their image. By avoiding direct communication, they prevent any situation where their flaws or manipulative behaviors might be exposed. 2. Maintaining control. Avoidance keeps you chasing after them for answers, reinforcing their power in the relationship. 3. Protecting their ego. Confrontation requires vulnerability, which covert narcissists are unwilling to risk. Avoidance allows them to sidestep any emotional discomfort. Psychologically, this behavior is tied to their deep-seated fear of intimacy and rejection. Covert narcissists often struggle with genuine emotional connection as it requires a level of honesty and vulnerability they're not equipped to handle. Avoidance becomes their default mechanism to protect themselves from perceived threats to their ego. For you, however, this can feel like hitting a brick wall. You may find yourself repeatedly trying to initiate conversations that never happen, leaving you feeling isolated and invalidated. Recognizing this pattern is crucial for setting boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. Understanding the 5 shocking reasons covert narcissists refuse to communicate directly: fear of exposure, need for control, emotional manipulation, passive aggressiveness, avoidance, and projection can empower you to navigate these challenging relationships with greater clarity and confidence. Covert narcissists thrive on confusion, manipulation, and emotional distance, but by recognizing their tactics, you can reclaim your power and set healthier boundaries. Remember, their refusal to communicate directly is not a reflection of your worth or your ability to communicate. It's a reflection of their inability to face their own flaws and vulnerabilities. As you move forward, take these lessons with you. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or professionals if needed. You deserve relationships built on honesty, respect, and open communication. Don't let the covert narcissist games dim your light. Take the first step toward reclaiming your emotional freedom today.